In this video, I'm going to share with you stuff that I know and stuff that I'm still learning about crypto. Why are you doing that, Michelle? It's because digital currency is becoming the new money. And this is a chance of a lifetime to set yourself up more securely financially. You will live more comfortably if you seize the opportunity with what's going on with the new monetary system. If you don't already know, Ripple has launched its US dollar pegged stablecoin on December 17th, 2024. If you're not aware, XRP Scan, the RLUSD stablecoin, is linked to the XRP Scan. And this is just a screenshot. I blocked out numbers, addresses, TX hash. I'm going to speak about that in a moment. CTID, I'm going to speak about that in a moment. This is a ledger that's a public ledger that anyone can look up a monetary transaction. There's no way to hide the money because all money will be traced. It's not like dirty, rotten cash. All transactions can be looked up on a ledger. So I'm just going to break it down. This is information, TX hash, like I said, CTID, and this is also proving that the new money system is here. So if you don't jump on board now, you're going to lose out. And I know people say, I'm not a financial advisor. I am sharing with you what I'm doing. And if I can get someone who is not aware, has no idea what's going on right now with the new monetary system, to jump on in and get a little piece of the pie before they are priced out, then it was worth uploading this video. So this is a ledger, and there's a lot of things on the ledger. And I took a screenshot to block some of the long addresses. A transaction hash, which I just showed you in that picture, often referred to as a TX hash, acts as a unique signifier generated whenever a transaction is executed within a blockchain system. Once it's confirmed, and I'll talk about that in a moment, the transaction ID, TX hash, becomes fixed, making sure the record of the transaction is valid and unchangeable. You see that information here. This is the TX hash, and it's a long number and letters. It's numbers and letters. It's the transaction ID. Next, CTID. This is stuff you learn as you go along. Concise transaction identifier. CTID stands for that, concise transaction identifier, in the context of XRP ledger protocol chains. It is a shorter identifier than a transaction hash and includes essential network ID information, which I'll talk about in a moment. This is something I learned. Many centralized exchanges, like Coinbase, use a single wallet address for all traders. That is why memos, it's a separate number, needs to be entered when moving single wallet addresses that are the same for all members for a hand, I don't think it's all members, but it's many. If you don't include a memo, the crypto exchange won't know where to send that cryptocurrency to. So if you are ever moving a digital asset around and it says you must include a memo, you have to include it, because if you don't include it, your recipient might not receive the cryptocurrency that you're sending them. Is sending crypto to another person taxable? I did some research on this. I'm going to wrap it up in a couple of sentences. It says, while you may need to fill out a gift tax return if the value of your gift exceeds $16,000, this form is primarily for informational purposes. You won't be required to pay tax unless you gift more than $12.92 million during your lifetime. Well, that's not going to happen for me, but that's just something that I expanded my knowledge. I'm learning more about digital assets. I'm learning more about cryptocurrency and what's happening in the future with paying taxes on cryptocurrency capital gains. Well, this says not mandatory, but it is mandatory now, because now we're in 2025. It is not mandatory to include crypto stored on cold storage wallet to the IRS. That is no longer true. That was in 2024. I'm doing my own taxes. I'm learning. And I also use Coin Tracker to submit that information to the IRS. The IRS, I'll talk about that maybe later. However, with the recent IRS guidance, wallet-based tracking will become mandatory from January 1st, 2025. Starting in the 2025 tax year, crypto exchanges, this is key everyone, will be required to issue Form 1099 DA, digital assets, to customers and the IRS. They have to send that form in to the IRS. And if you don't send it in, you will be questioned. However, this may cause additional tax reporting problems due to cryptocurrency's unique properties. More on this later. Note, you do not need a 1099 form to file your crypto taxes. But you do. You do. Now, that might sound confusing, but what I believe that's saying is there are people who buy crypto directly through their cold storage wallets. Well, how does an exchange know that? Nobody knows that, only you. And I guess the cryptocurrency you bought, like it would be, say, I know things are coming into play that now you can buy cryptocurrency through the ledger using a credit card. Well, of course, there's going to be a trace of that transaction, but they don't have to send the IRS. A credit card company don't have to send the IRS one of those 1099 DA forms. You hear me? Because that's confusing. That really made me think. Well, people who buy directly onto their cold storage wallets, no crypto exchange is going to know that. But someone like me, as of now, because I tried a year or two ago to buy it directly on the wallets, and I had a hard time. I wasn't allowed to. But maybe now I can. I'll soon find that out. But for me, on my app, I buy crypto with Coinbase and Gemini. And then I would transfer it to my cold storage wallets, and they know. The crypto exchange knows. Wow, this person bought a lot. We have to send the IRS a form. Well, if I don't submit a copy of that form with my income tax return when I'm doing my own return, do you think that's not going to set off a red flag? Of course it is, because it's not going to match. It won't match. So some people buy it directly. I happen to buy it through Coinbase and Gemini, and I transfer it to my cold storage wallets, I keep forgetting something. Oh, and every time, I believe this to be true, every time there's a transaction of a cryptocurrency, a little bit of that cryptocurrency burns, like XRP, it burns, it goes away. So every time there's a transaction, all the times I practiced moving crypto around back and forth and whatever I'm doing, I own several of these. I'm going to order another one of these and a Trezor. Well, every time I'm moving my cryptocurrency around, it's burning it off the supply. So that makes that cryptocurrency more valuable. That's why I believe today's dollar, they call it the fiat dollar, is, it's really, it's worth nothing because they could just keep printing. The Federal Reserve just keep printing. Well, that makes our dollar money valueless. Let's get back to it. I was just looking that up. We don't need to talk about that right now. Here's a topic I want to talk about. Banks are increasingly creating their own stable coins. And all the banks want their own stable coin. I was looking this up. I had an idea. I knew what it meant. I was right. Consortium banks. I understand that. I'm educating myself. Tokenized deposits. Oh, the USDF stands for Tokenized Deposit in Banking. It is a token minted exclusively by federally insured depository institutions and represents a deposit at the USDF Consortium Bank. You can read more about that, but I learned a lot. Okay, I forgot to mention one thing. On the bottom of the XRP ledger, the public ledger that people can look up any transaction, it also shows the nodes involved that confirmed that transaction, so it's not changeable in the future. It can't be changed. The transaction is stored on the blockchain. The transaction has been completed. It's done. That's how fast moving money around is happening now. I have notes here because I don't want to babble. I will start off with, I still have to work. However, I have freedom of time in the industry that I work in. I can take the time. You know what? I make the time to research, to study, to have more of an understanding about what is going down right now with the new monetary system getting rolled out. Most people don't know that they're already being controlled and conformed to use digital assets all the time. And those are the people that they're probably running the rat race. Well, some people choose to be ignorant. Some people don't want to hear about change, choose to be ignorant. And they don't want to, they don't believe things will really change. They still believe in your cash, paper money. And that's not the case anymore. Anyone who does not, in my opinion, this is all what I'm doing and my formed opinion. Anyone who is not paying attention or just, not paying attention to all the little signs that are constantly happening around us and how we're forced to slowly use digital assets as a way of exchanging, transactions, spending and paying bills. They're gonna be the ones living on universal basic income. They're the ones who will always be controlled, and they are the ones that will be living with less than. They will be the new poor. And the second half of my life, that's not for me. I already know I'm rich. It's just a matter of the new finding out if we have to pay. I'm waiting for that. I really am waiting for that. I'm living without. I want to know, do I have to pay capital gains on the US-based cryptocurrencies that I own? Because that's the main thing for me. I made it this far. Why would I sell anything? I'm going to continue living like, and paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to go out today. I didn't plan on doing that. I'm going to go earn a little bit of money. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I continue to invest and hold. I want to know if I have to pay capital gains on that. All my investments. Then I have an exit plan, but I'm also keeping, I'll say 70% for my future. I've been a heavy hitter for me. I got off track a little bit. UBI. Oh, I'm also waiting for regulatory clarity of cryptocurrency, digital assets. Those are two main things that need to happen for me and my world to completely change. And all I need is that one big win. Now, I had that chance a couple of years ago. I got really lucky and I blew it because I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't believe that it could be true, that there would be $90,000 in my Fidelity account. I blew it. I did reap some rewards, but I could have wiped out all my debt. But then I would have to pay taxes on those capital gains. And I could tell you I wouldn't have had the money. So I'm really happy I learned that lesson, because I listened to people like Clear Value Tax, one of many, and he shared a story and I went, oh my God, that would have happened to me. And the person didn't realize they cashed out, but then they had no money to pay their taxes. So you're back at square one. So I'm happy that didn't happen to me. I learned really quick. I've never had a financial education until I was, I guess, about 50. I started studying. I said, there's got to be something more out there. This isn't the way I'm living the second half of my life. And I did the time. I'd say about 50, maybe 48, 50. And look at me now. I'm not worried anymore. I'm very calm. I look at life very differently. I think differently. I don't think like a poor person anymore. That insults people. I don't care. I used to be one of them. I changed. It is possible to change. Anyone who claims, gives reasons why they don't want to be a better person or become more financially educated or less ignorant to what's going on in the world, it's all by choice. And they just, if they knew everything, they'd be in a much better position. So everything I'm sharing with you, this is stuff I have learned. This is where I stand with the capital gains and the regulatory clarity. I need to know those two things before I cash out, because I don't want to pay taxes on my capital gains. And I could cash out, a percentage of my investments, wipe out all my debt, and start my life over and own a home and own a car outright. To me, that's wealth. I have freedom of time. I could do what I want when I want to do it. 95% of the time, you have to make appointments with other people. You want things to happen. You can't always have your way every time, but you hear what I'm saying. I have a lot more freedom of my time. My money's going to work for me and earn me enough to live very comfortably. And that's the next stage I need to get to. So if you're not aware, visit the link in the description below to open up a Coinbase account if you haven't already. Or even a Gemini. I'll put my Gemini link down there too. But right now, at the recording of this video, Coinbase is giving qualified newbies $20 in Bitcoin, and I'll receive $20 in Bitcoin. If you're not aware of this, you can buy fractional shares of cryptocurrency. I mean, if I knew what I knew now a year ago, the things I'm buying now, I could have gotten for half the price. However, I truly believe in those few utility cryptos that will come into play, in my opinion, 3 to 5 years from now. You know what? $25 a week is better than nothing. I'm getting it still on the cheap. pennies to the dollar. And I know that because the cryptocurrencies I speak about, I truly believe, I mean, I'm a young 56. When I hit my 60s, they're going to be worth $100,000 or 50 grand each. I mean, Bitcoin is at $100,000 now. What says something else can't reach that amount, that worth? I bet you some of them can. I mean, I've been a heavy investor for years. My life is drastically going to change. Options, freedom of time, options, and anything I do helps support the economy because I want to spend my money. Not only do I want to hold some of it and let it earn me passive income every month, like letting banks borrow my utility XRP. I'm really listening to what's out there. AMMs, they're called, and XLM is doing it now on Soro something. I have to learn more. But every time I spend money out in the economy, I'm helping the little people. They need jobs. They're not where I'm at. They're not where you're at. There are people out there that will always work for a paycheck. Work to the day they die. Everything you see me doing, I love what I do. So I don't mind working till the day I die, but I don't have to. I know that's just around the corner. I won't have to. That's a whole different way of living. I won't have to if I don't want to. It's different when you have choices. Life is so much more enjoyable and freedom. So you can buy fractional shares. And I heard this on Common Sense Crypto this past week. He played a video that he saw on X. I'm a big YouTuber and I do my own research, but I don't browse every social media, maybe in the future. But he showed this clip about Citibank higher-ups, people in charge of Citibank, the Citibank group, and they don't want to use other bank stable coins. They want a stable coin that all banks must use. And in my opinion, that's RLUSD. RLUSD. That's Ripple's stable coin. Because the XRP moves all the money. They don't want to use another bank's, they don't want to, like people doing transactions with Citibank, just as an example, and they're going back and forth with their money, putting money in, taking money out, whatever it is. They don't want to deal with other banks' stable coins. They want one universal stable coin, and that should be RLUSD. So people are about to become priced out, and they're not even aware of it. And visit the link in the description below. I have things in the future. I've been saying this for a long time. I want to have a giveaway of utility cryptocurrency. I just have to set it up. So stay tuned for that. To people who, this will help people jump on board too. I mean, I understand the ETFs coming into play with the utility cryptocurrencies. It's going to bring in a whole new group of investors. But us now, like someone like me that's been buying it individually for years, I'm a part of the 1%. My life's going to change. I totally get it. Create those ETFs. Do it. Because that means that's going to bring a lot more people in. Because most people who invest in ETFs, they don't want all the investigating, all the decision making. They want, will I get a return on my investment without, with less hassle? That's a good way of putting it. So visit the link in the description below, especially the Coinbase link. If you're new to crypto, jump in. The time is now. I mean, XRP went from $2 for $1 to $2.50 on average. And I say by the end of the month, I really do believe that XRP will be like hovering at $5 point. Until the next video clip, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something.